Hi YouTube. All right, you've seen me mention about the Waterless Urinal, and so finally get around to putting together the video. You'll see this. This has occurred over many months. I actually started this back last fall when I had time back in the old apartment that I lived in before I took off on the bus. The Part way through, you'll see me in the interior of the bus because I finished this up while I was on the road, and so let's get to it. How to make your own waterless urinal. Okay, so this is basically how a waterless urinal works. You have your drain tube. You have the drain tube comes up through the bottom of a catch basin. Within the catch basin, there is a inverted cup. Surrounding that inverted cup in the catch basin, you have some sort of light oil. A vegetable oil would work, olive oil. I don't think anything that's a volatile oil would be a bad idea because it would evaporate off. But vegetable oil works really nice. The big companies have you buy their special oil, which is tinted blue. But anyway, what happens is urine comes into the cup through some sort of bigger basin. This is basically just that small drain that you saw me making just a moment ago. Into the bigger basin, the urine comes in. Urine being basically 90% or more than 90% water is heavier than the vegetable oil. So it sinks down into the bottom. It raises the level of the vegetable oil. When a level gets above the top of the fill or the pipe, it overflows down in. This actually is not all the way full. In my case, I glued this to the top to support this, and I have holes in the side. So this is not a true representation of what I did. But as the level goes up, the urine flows through the holes until the level comes down to where brings the oil down around the edges to the same level as the top of those holes. Basically, water finds its own level, and so the water, in this case the urine, goes down through. The oil does not get all the way down here and up through, so that's not a problem. You got to watch out for the oil being stirred up a lot, breaking down, mix it in, basically like salad dressing, mixing oil and vinegar. Vinegar being mostly water, similar to urine. So it can break down. You need to renew it occasionally. So what this does is creates a vapor seal. The smells of the urine can't come back up through. They're entrapped by the oil, and you have a waterless urinal. So I'll go out. I'll show you what mine is, and or I'll bring it in here. We'll show it next to this. Okay, be right back. Okay, so this is my attempt at doing a waterless urinal. Might work. What I did was I took this piece of half-inch pipe, PVC. I drilled some holes in the one end, and I put a nice bed of adhesive down in there. I want to get this nice and straight, and we'll let that dry up. Then I'm going to slide this down through this bigger one, and I will put up a picture of and a link to where they work or how they work, and a picture, sort of an outline of how I think this one will work. So this is an experiment. We'll see how it goes. And yeah. Okay, so see if I can do this without killing it. I slid the bigger one down and put a couple of spacers to keep it from going all the way down. I need a space around it a little bit. And now I'm going to glue this up, and we'll let this thing set up, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so here's mine. Got the drain tube, which is that. Got the outer cup, which is that. The drain tube goes up through it. It's not pretty, but that's okay. And then I got the inverted cup inside. Like I said, what I've done is I drilled some holes and glued all this up together. And I tested it out. I put a little bit of oil in here. I poured in some water with food coloring and went right down through and worked perfect. So the next step, obviously, I'm not going to try to pee into that little thing. So I need a bigger basin. So let's see what I've got for that. Okay, so I need a bigger basin. It doesn't have to be really huge. I mean, urinals basically are decent size because people are inaccurate. And they go through a whole lot of splash factors and all that. It's just me. So it's my house. I'm going to be really careful, but I need something bigger than this to aim for. So what I've decided to do, I could do all kinds of different things. But for those who know me, I have a little bit of a bizarre sense of humor. So what I've decided to do, what would it be in October, and these things are plentiful, is I got myself a Frankenstein skull. I opened it up. I'm going to put it so that the top is hinged, and then I cut a hole in the bottom so that this will fit in rather tightly, like so. So I've got this in the catch basin. I'll mount this on the wall like this. I can pee down into here. It'll do down in the catch basin. Now, you can see that there's some space around here. I think you can see it. What I'm going to do is there's some plastic that's really nice stuff. You can, it comes in beads. You can heat it up and form it with your hands, and while it's still warm, and when it's when it hardens, or you can put it in cold water, it'll get hard, at which point you can drill it, you can sand it, do all kinds of things. So what I'm going to do is take some of that and mold that down inside here into a cup, a funnel that goes down in, to direct the urine down into this. I'm probably going to put a little bit of caulking and stuff down around in here to so I don't use a whole lot of that. And I'm going to glue up the bottom so there's no leaks. But so that basically, with the cap to keep debris out, is going to be my waterless urinal for the bus. I will have in the composting toilet urine catcher in there for sitters and sitting down, but for everyday stand-up use, there'll be this be Frank the urinal. So that's it. I'll show you what it looks like when I get that molded plastic in there. That's the next step, and we'll go from there. Okay, so see what we're doing with the plastic. Okay, so the next step in the urinal process is I'm using these moldable plastic beads. Excuse me. You basically take these little beads, put them in some water, heat the water up, get them so that they are at 140 degrees. And they all melt together into this moldable plastic. So what I'm doing is packing the inside here, oops, of my container with this plastic, making sure that I've got it down in all around the edge of my catch basin, or whatever you want to put it. Basically, I'm just molding this into something that slopes down towards it. Now, I'm not worried about if it's all pretty. I mean, who's going to look in here? Or smooth. I just want it all sloping downhill and into it. You can see it's sort of still translucent. So now let's run some cold water into it. If I can get this to stand up. There we go. Okay, so I've got the urinal in and run down the backbone, tying into this pipe down here, runs into the gray tank. So what I'm going to do is, I did put some oil in here. I'm going to pour some blue in here to simulate urine. You can see that it's going down. And I think I need to level this a little bit more, but so there we go. Yeah, it's a different kind of urinal, but it suits me. Well, there you have it, YouTube. How I made my own waterless urinal. It's I've been using it for about a month now. It's worked great, not a problem at all, and way better than spending a few $100s to buy one. So hopefully, gave you an idea. You can make one yourself. You don't have to use a skull. It's just sort of my own little touch. But that's it for now. See you later, YouTube. Hi, I'm Steve. This is my furry overlord, Cammy. And we're traveling around the country, checking out things, looking for those places that most people just sort of miss or never heard of. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends and neighbors about it, and if you want to make a contribution, there's a button up there on my homepage, and as long as they last, every $5 you send, I'll send you a couple of stickers. So